This week, one of the biggest stories that have hit our headlines is the banning of 344 what they call fixed dose combinations. Now, when we hear that and if you went to the Gazette notification which the government issued, then you would have read things like norfloxacin and a combination of that with metronidazole, I can't even pronounce that, it wouldn't have made sense. But if I told you that things which you've been taking off your local pharmacy, things like the Honeyters, things like cough syrups like Corex and Phensedyl, cold medicine like VICKS Action 500, all of those the government has said is very, very harmful for you, and they've banned it, then obviously it starts ringing alarm bells. Now, pharma companies have gone to court. Some of them have even got a stay. But what we are talking about here on agenda with all the stakeholders is, what does it mean for all of us, the consumers, the people who are sometimes pill poppers? Is it good news? Is it bad news? And if the government is banning 344 drug combinations now, what has it been doing to our bodies all this year? So let me just introduce our panelists over here, the experts who are going to just tell us what happened. Remember, the Ministry of Health, which enforced this, which came out with this notification, they don't want to talk about it because they're still fighting with pharma companies. But it is very, very important because this show is going to tell you what those drugs are, what it means for you and me. All this notification by the government, what it means for pharma companies, but more importantly, what it means for all of us. So what we have here, we have with me Dr. Yatin Mehta. He is from Medanta and he supports the drug ban. So he's going to give us a medical perspective. We also have Leena Mignane, a lawyer who is an activist for cheaper drugs and works in this particular area. Now, the closest we have to someone who's worked with the government is Dr. B.R. Jagashetty. He's the former national advisor to the Drug Controller of India, and giving us the other side, because remember, they're saying it's going to cause crores and crores of business to pharmaceutical companies, is Dilip G. Shah. He joins us from Mumbai. He's the CEO and represents the Indian Pharmaceutical Alliance. So let's just get down to it. Remember what the government has said when they took out this notification. They said that they were banning these drug combinations. It's called FDCs, fixed drug combinations. They were doing that because, one, because of addiction that it causes. A lot of the things like the cough syrups, they are used as for addiction in various groups. They also cause drug resistance, and they sometimes have very, very strong side effects. So the first thing that we want to know is, if the government is right, it is harmful, why is it that it took so long in saying it? Because apparently a lot of these things which are on the list right now, they're not approved anywhere in the world. So if I can take that to you, Dr. Jagashetty, why is it that the government is waking up now?
Good evening, madam. See, this whatever it is not that just today it has happened or yesterday it has happened. Since many years it is going on. Most of the industries, I remember much before 2012 or 2013 onwards, they have been asked to give the justification of these fixed dose combinations. Individual drugs may be effective. The purpose of fixed dose combination, it should have been more effectiveness, should have been there. It is likely to lead antimicrobial resistance and all other things are there. Anyhow, that committee, expert committee has been gone through the details. I am not there to tell what expert committee has done. Definitely Drug Controller India, Government of India will be able to tell you, and expert committee has seen it properly. Each individual drugs they have seen and they have given the opinion. It has been right direction. Government of India has taken the right direction. But I feel only the procedural aspect, it would have been given a bit of time for withdrawal, because from say nook and corner about 7 to 8 lakh chemists to withdraw, that may be a problem. Earlier, for example, in 2003 also there were some fixed dose combinations have been banned. For example, phenobarbital with any anti-asthmatic drugs, which was banned in 2001 March, but it was given effective from January 2002. Like that, some time gap would have been given. Time would have been, I feel, procedural little it would have been given. Otherwise, the procedure, whatever has taken, and most of the industries are aware of this fact. It is not that overnight it has happened. That is what I feel. what Shah will say and other person will say, I think you can
I
ask
get your
them
point
also.
that this has been in the making, and in
Please
fact, I think we
increase
can
the
tell our viewers that in 2007 there was another move by the government to ban 200 and more drugs as well. So it is an effort that the government has been on for as well. But of course, what we've seen this week is that the Delhi High Court has stepped in and they have provided a stay to that. So I wanted to ask, first let's just get the pharmaceutical companies. Dilip Shah, if you can come in over here. You managed to, some of the companies have managed to get a stay now. So we're going to see a lot of these brands perhaps being back. Now, obviously there's a huge trust deficit now, because some of the things that we were turning to when we had a common cold, now I'm looking at very suspiciously. So I know you've got the stay, but how are you telling us that it's still safe if my government is telling me that it's not?
Well, let me first clarify that we support ban of irrational medicines done in a manner that is transparent, with expert advice, and in a time bound and due process of constitution or law is followed. What has happened in this case, and since your audience is students, I will take that example, that if a student has got a pass certificate, college has declared him as he is qualified, and after 6 months he gets a letter from the college saying that no, you have not passed. What will he do? Now, government wants to put, and I can see from your subtitles, that profit versus safety. Safety comes first. Patient interest comes first. Then only pharmaceutical industry can survive and grow. If we don't take care of patient interest, we can't grow. But what has really happened, and you use the expression, pharmaceutical companies have managed to get a stay. We have not managed. Out of sheer frustration and anguish, companies were forced to go to court and seek a justice. Why? Because several of these instances out of this 344 is totally in a mess. They have not asked companies, they have not heard companies, they have not given opportunity.
Which one of those medicines is?
And many of these formulations which are...
Can you give me a
I'm not talking
specific
about all
instance, Mr.
medicines.
Shah,
I'm
of
not
which
talking
one?
about all medicines. And if you look at what the court have said, I'm not talking about
one. Any particular one.
I
Then I'll
can't
take it
hear
to the
you.
doctor. I can't hear you. Okay. Okay. So you heard what he's, huge kind of that they've been cheated. What would you say? You've gone through the list of 344?
Yes, I have.
So I'll come back to you. They're fixing your audio, so I'll just come back to you. Yeah.
See, this thing is that most of these medicines, combinations, FDCs, have no scientific evidence to use them. Okay, medicine is evidence-based medicine. There are no FDA approvals, so most of the Western countries don't use it. India is the largest user of FDCs.
Yeah.
Now, I'll come to a specific, example of antibiotics usage. India is the largest, again, producer of antibiotic-resistant organisms.
Yeah.
Because the primary responsibility of
Why
that is...
are we the largest users of...
Why are the largest producers? Because of gross
the
misuse,
fixed dose combinations.
gross use of antibiotic combinations which should not be used. Because they are using linezolid in combination with a gram-negative.
Is it because you want to cut out the doctor and get it straight?
That may be one of the factors that the local chemist can prescribe this over-the-counter medicines. But the thing is that we have drug-resistant organisms in the water, in a sewage, which contaminates the atmosphere. So we are getting hospital-acquired infections from the community, which were never there earlier.
So, Leena Mignane, you heard what the pharma companies are saying. How do you counter that?
See, firstly, I would like to say that this is good news for patient safety and public health. There's been large amount of concern about certain combinations. Not all combinations are irrational. So there's certain combinations for HIV, TB, malaria, which are recommended by the WHO, and these are not on the hit list. I want to be very clear. They are not banned, they are
so
available.
what you're clarifying is, as someone who speaks for patients, that if you need any life-threatening medicine or whatever, life-saving medicine, they're all there.
So the ones that are recommended by the WHO continue to remain in the market. They are available
that's important for our
through
viewers
the
too.
government. They are available in the private sector as well. Number two, the ones that have been withdrawn from the market, people like to call it a ban. It's
Yes, sir,
basically
I'm just coming back to you. Yeah.
the ones that have been withdrawn, some of them contain a lot of antibiotics. What it really means is this, that India is getting serious about taking action on antibiotic resistance, which is a global threat.